you guys, anyone who's watched my videos, I think we played 8 rounds in Worlds. 4 of them, I got the shit kicked out of me by French people, and all 4 were French people with Stark. So today will be pretty fun. So Pierre's going to be helping me today with a deck of his Stark Knights of Hollow Hill. So I'm going to be letting Pierre do most of the talking, but I figured I'd just at least, since this is serving as a beginner's deck guide, kind of talk a little bit about the agenda as a whole. Now, this one is kind of colloquially known as 3-2-1, and it's not hard why. So let's take a look. Agenda. You cannot place cards during setup. Your other cards do not provide a gold bonus. Read that again because it's terrifying. You cannot place cards during setup. What? Your other cards do not provide a gold bonus. Gulp. Okay, so emphasis mine. So the idea is this agenda gives you all sorts of wiggle room for the rest of always once you survive that initial setup. So Pierre, yeah man, I don't want to shit on your parade, so why don't you go ahead and talk a little bit about the deck, how you came up with it, what it's supposed to do. Take the floor, my man.
Okay, so the beginning of my history with this deck goes back to 2022. I've played some lists that looks like this one in Starek 2 years ago. Like pretty often before Starek, I had no idea what to play, and I was discussing with my good friend Alex, who just like that in a discussion out of nowhere, he said, yeah, Star 321 should be great someday. And I was like, okay, sounds like fun, let's do something together. And so he helped me build the previous version of this deck. And it was a lot of fun. I did not do that great in Starek. I think I went 4-4 or something like that. But I had a lot of fun, and so that was the deck I enjoyed playing once in a while, changing style, changing decks. And some month before, I think it's last year, they unpodded all the Mormont characters. There used to be a strong pod with the Mormont, Alisan, Shiber, and Lord of the Crossing.
Yeah.
Because of the agenda, Lord of the Crossing, which prevented me with this deck to play the Mormon together, while it's better to have them all in your deck. But since they changed the pod, I've been able to include Alisan into the deck, which is a great addition if you want to play aggressively. And also, Shiber used to be restricted, so she got unrestricted. Which allowed me to add You Win or You Die in the deck, which is also super good if you want to grab your opponent by the throat. And plus, maybe I'll come later back to this, but the new event, Here We Stand, is great with the House Mormon.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I brought up the deck list. I probably should have before. Right. So I've been kind of hovering as you go. So yeah, Here We Stand. Dominance action, only if you control House Mormont. Search the top 10 cards for any number of Bear Island, Bearskin Cloak, and House Mormont cards. Reveal them, add them to your hand. So for the low cost of 0 gold, you just scrape off however many like mean ass like characters you want off the top of your deck. Seems good. Seems pretty good.
The event itself is a House Mormont card. So with one instance of your event, you can grab as many characters as you can.
Oh.
And maybe you can fetch another copy of the event and play it right away. One more time.
Interesting.
So, yeah, this is a 2.0 version of my former deck.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted it to be super aggressive, be able to wipe a board and to make my opponent tap out. But also, with Here We Stand, I wanted the deck to be able to get some on the long run. If the game gets longer, if there is some control, if they resist, you have to be able to regroup and to draw some characters to keep spamming the board and aggress your opponent. So it was a good addition, and it worked pretty well. So I'm pretty pleased with the version I ended up with.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so we spoke before, and there were a couple individual cards you wanted to go over and how they factor into the deck. So talk to me a little bit about Bolton Flayer specifically. Well, you told me before, and just so I can catch the viewers up, you said
Sure.
one of the big strategies of the deck is you want to keep the opponent's side of the board very empty and force them into some really nasty march to the walls. So you want to put them to some
Exactly.
nasty decisions and start killing some of their big people quick. So how does Bolton Flayer factor into this plan?
Yeah, Bolton Fire is a cleaner of the opponent's board because it will target the little characters. Basically, once the opponent gets what he's facing, they will want to avoid the march to the wall. So they will be trying to protect their bigs with as many characters they can alongside them on the board. So the Fire are there to kill in addition of your military challenge, to kill the little characters that could remain on the board after the challenge phase. So they're really doing their part of the job before hitting the big march on the wall on, I don't know, Cersei, Robert Baratheon, or any 6 or 7 coster you want to send to the wall. So they're like the little ants doing their job for the team, and they're biting until the you can narrow down the board enough to be deadly with the march to the wall.
Right. So I had a question. I've never played with Flare before, but I've seen it. It seems to suggest that it can take your own people too. How
Yeah.
often do you find yourself not wanting to play it because you're in a pop yourself? Does that come up a lot or not really?
It happens. It's never really self-poisoning. Sometimes you pay it right. You pay them right away because you know that they're gonna be helpful to the opponents. So once they're there, you try not to marshal, but try to be smart about it, of course, so not to marshal to little characters on your side. If you're not sure, it's still good to put them into shadow
Right.
because you have the surprise effect. Even if when you play the style of deck and you have one card in shadow, the opponent goes like, okay, it's either Mirror Read or a Flayer. So it's not a big surprise effect, but still it can help you manage the challenge, and you can be able, given you have to adapt, of course, but they can come out of shadow to do one military plus one extra kill, or if that military claim would redirect their trigger on your side of the board, you go for intrigue, or you don't do anything with them as a challenge. So it's flexible enough not to suffer from them.
Good. Yeah, I figured it was something like that. I just have been avoiding Stark for obvious reasons. Macron and I, we really just got to meet in a parking lot and just finish this up like men. So, all right. So we're gonna talk next about ice. You mentioned this before. Cool ass sounding card. Talk to me about why it's so abusive in this deck.
Sorry, excuse me, I didn't get which one.
Sure. The card ice. You
Ice,
mentioned
yeah,
this
of
before
course.
as one of the cards that you like to use to ruin people's day.
Yeah, ice. It's great to get a card from the core sets that didn't that didn't used to be played that much. And into this deck, it makes totally sense to have it. So ice, basically, as you can read on it, it can kill any character as long as you're able to win a military challenge. It can be by defending the challenge too.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Oh, I
they
didn't
took
realize it
attention
could
to
even
that.
be on defense. That's sneaky. Okay.
And it's one of the key parts of a strong start you can make with this deck, because when you play 3-1, I've played Martel 3-1 a lot, and with the 3-1 decks that are controlish, you don't mind about your start, you draw cards, and then at some point you'll be able to hit a reset and get the upper end on the game. But with this one, is you have quickly to set up a correct board to be able to fight the real fight with your opponent with challenges. So when you open the game with Fallen from Favor, you have 10 goals. With these 10 goals, you're happy to put a she-bear on the board because she can add 3 gold of value for a free card. And Ice is the perfect card to jump like that. So
Right.
if you're able to put Ice on a she-bear, that is just there to do military challenge. And if you have, let's say, Arya Stark, Alisan Mormont, or Mira Reed to help you with stealth, you're able to kill Khal Drogo if you have the right setup. You can stealth
Friggin' Khal
the
Drogo,
birds,
dude.
and you can get past any strong defense by stealthing 1 or 2 characters. So it can turn a first round of the game that can be expected to be slow or to be, I don't know, medium with this agenda into a really, really strong start.
Gotcha.
And,
Okay, so question. So, when you play Fallen from Favor, sacrifice a character you control. So if you do not have a character you control, then that's fine. You just go ahead and take your 7 and all that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Which makes sense with the agenda, so it's for free. So it's
All right.
perfect opener.
All right, so that's
Initiate.
pretty much. So would you say like 100% of the time that's the plot you play, coming out of the 3-2-1, like sit and wait for your time to play?
Yeah, I'd say 95% of the time.
Fair enough.
Because sometimes Valar Morghulis can be a great opener.
Oh right,
If
yeah, Valar Magugu is a good one to like shut him up.
if you have a setup, your opponent makes setup with no economy, just little characters, and he's like, okay, I can play big because I have some other characters to be with him. If you just Valar and they play, let's say, the Maiden, yeah, there's 6 gold. It's
All
gonna be
right.
5 for you, 6 for them. So march to the wall is never far away
No, it's
from
such a
hitting. So
good, it's such a brutal card. Like, I don't know. I've played a lot of TCGs. I'm sure you've played a lot of. There's not a lot of cards that elicit that much of a gut punch from me. Like when you're stuck in between like your 7 Cersei and your 7 Tywin, you're just like, oh, it's like losing your queen in chess. All right. So next we're looking at Harrenhal. So this is
yeah.
a 4 cost. Yeah. So go ahead and talk to me about this monstrosity.
Yeah, yeah, it's monstrosity. Yeah, indeed, I really love this card.
You would, because you're a fucking communist.
Yeah, exactly. I play Harrenhal in Stark. I play Harrenhal in Nightwatch. I play Harrenhal in Martel. I love this Stark aggressive card. Harrenhal is perfect because if you play it early enough and you get that your opponent has a key character, let's say Cersei, if the prince that was promised anyone, if you're expecting some character to make a difference from your opponents, if you play Arenal, you're safe. You know that you can write down the name of the
Oh.
character on the card if you want during the game. You can show the card, say it has Cersei written on it, and she will never hit the board. And also, so it's as early on in the game, it's super good. And also, sometimes when you're too dominant on the board, if you have wiped the board of your opponent with ice, I don't know, you have to played March, Ramsey Snow, and they're like, okay, let me catch my breath, and they go, I don't know, counting coppers, and they use a round to regroup and to draw cards and to prepare a bigger run after. So you have not so much pressure in front of you on the board. You don't need to add some characters. So you use your 4 goals to play Arenal, and it's okay. Next turn, let's talk. And it's perfect in the middle of the game when you have already hit very hard your opponent. Yeah, he can use a break, so you use the same break to play Harrenhal and prevent them from coming back into the game.
Yeah, this is a deck I have to try. Well, I want to finish going through the cards you want to talk, but I want to give a couple thoughts and hear some final thoughts from you. All right, so last one you mentioned is Ramsay Snow. Talk to me about this sumbitch.
My favorite character in the series for sure. In the game, almost my favorite character. As you can see, I've played two March to the Wall in this deck,
Mm-hmm.
and for the people who are used to play with me,
Mm-hmm.
usually the question is not whether or not I'm using March to the Wall. The real question is how often.
Gotcha.
Uh, and since I think that two of them is not enough,
I just wish
if
I
you
could
want to
play seven
practice the
March to the Walls. That's all I want.
yes, you can
So
use
all you got to
Ramsey.
do, Pierre, is win Worlds, and then we'll just talk to Deathly Steve about just seven marches, homie. Just let it happen.
Yeah, we need more bolt-on cards because they're so fun. So Ramsey he pushes March to the Wall into the next level because his only purpose almost every time he hits the board is to get away as soon as he is there. So his own targets for his reaction. Usually you play Ramsey, you sacrifice it. So it's not really a character that does any stuff on the board. He comes, he sacrifices an opponent's characters, and he goes. And the way it's played, usually it's combined with March to the Wall. So what we were discussing before is that you have to clean the opponent's board to get just one biggie and then hit March to the Wall to send them away from the game. But with Ramsey in the equation, you can just reduce the opponent's board to two characters, and then there is a threat for you to play March to the Wall to be first player because you have the best initiative possible, and then to hit Ramsey as your first marshalling. So
Oh.
if they have Cersei and Tywin, both would be gone. If there is Cersei with a dupe, with a bodyguard, and just, I don't know, any little character alongside her, it's okay to march the little one to the wall, and then Ramsay will do the rest of the job.
All
So
right. So, quick question: when somebody
yeah,
sacrifices, it doesn't go to the kill pile; it goes to the dead pile, or it goes to the discard pile, right?
yeah, sacrifice means it's discarded but cannot be saved.
Oh,
And
okay.
what I hate is when I see duped characters on the board
Yeah,
of some big dudes with a bodyguard,
makes sense.
which smile at you and say, "Hey, you can kill me," and yeah, you can still send them to the wall or sacrifice them with Ramsey, and whatever. Doesn't matter if they have dupes, if they have bodyguards, they're just gone. So
Gotcha. Okay, I had one more question because Ramsey seems so. I get that the effect is really strong. I think he's like fair in terms of icons and strength, but five seems a little expensive. Do you think that's fair costed? Like five seems expensive to me, but I mean you play this deck a lot, so
yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's your job when playing the deck to make it worth to have an effect that is good enough for the money you spend.
good point.
As I said, it's not about his strength. It's not about his icons. He could have one icon and one strength. I would play Ramsey exactly the same.
Well, and then actually with 3-2-1, he's only 2 gold if you think about it.
Yeah, you can see it that way because yeah, when you play March to the Wall, it's 7 gold already plus the location you could get,
Nice.
and so you can invest on Ramsey, and either you get rid of characters of the opponents that costs 5 or more, so it's worth.
All right,
Also,
so
it depends how many cards your opponent has in hand. So he's not able to recover from that. It's still worth to shoot.
all right, so I have one last question I want to ask about, and this was just one for me. Reek. I've seen this card
Yeah.
come up a bit. Talk to me about how it actually works. I've never actually used it, but like, does it work well? Talk to me about it.
Um, to be very honest, I mean, one copy of Rick, I think, would be enough in the deck because it's not a key card. You're not expecting him during the game to make a difference. But if he's there, it can be fine. It can be decisive. It's super fun. I really love the card. So maybe I put two copies of Rick because I really love the card. And people who know me know know that I love to steal characters.
Fair. Yeah, you got 2 copies of Ward there or whatever.
Yeah, well, of course. Which we're talking about March into Ramsey. If there are 3 characters and you have enough gold, you can play March, then Ward, a little character, then play Ramsey on the remaining one. So,
Oh.
yeah, there are plenty of fun stuff to do with this.
Yeah,
So
that sounds brutal.
yeah, Rick adds some surprise effect into it. It's another shadow card. As I said before, the opponents would, in the first place, they would expect Mira or the Flayer to come out of shadow. So
Right.
if it's a Rick, it's a surprise. And also, we were discussing Bolton Flayer. It can backfire if I have the little characters. So maybe if I make a military challenge with my Flayer, the opponent would be tempted to let it go, let it pass, and kill one of his small characters to have the player target one of mine if I have to. So there are some situations like this when the opponent can be willing to let the player pass unopposed when he does a challenge, and Rick can be triggered if any Bolton character wins an unopposed challenge.
Oh.
So he doesn't have to be himself winning the challenge.
Okay.
So if you go with a Flayer and the opponent has so many things to monitor on your board, if it goes unopposed, you feel you're like, okay, I have an action, Rick out of shadows, and then you trade some cards with your opponents.
All right, awesome. So, Pierre, and I guess you go by Matt as your gamer tag. So, question. So, yeah, I've got a good sense of the deck. I need to see it played, but now one thing that I kind of want to speak to because I'm looking over it, and this doesn't look fast like Lord of the Crossing fast. This doesn't look control-y. Like, would you call this mid-range? Like, what? How does this deck want to work in terms of tempo, I guess, is what I'm trying to ask.
I would say you have to start strong.
Like strong as in fast, like lots of small characters, or what's a strong start to you, I guess, is a better question.
So strong start. Sorry, if you go with the classic opening with Fallen from Favor, you have 10 goals. It's good to play Arya.
Oh yeah, Arya is so friggin' good.
Yeah, Shiber. Get some ice. And then I don't know, maybe some Bear Island Scout to start drawing some more Mormon cards. But you have to put the pressure on super early, so the opponent could be in fear of losing a key character of their own during the first round.
Makes sense.
So if you have a character with stealth plus ice on the board, you're already super threatening round one. So the image I would give it, you as soon as possible you catch your opponent by the throat and you never let go.
Makes sense. Yeah, that's very Stark adjacent and Stark relevant. Awesome, Pierre. So yeah, I mean, this is something I just got to watch. And this deck does something that I'm a big believer in. I'm not a good enough player yet to institute it in my own play. But this whole idea of emotional damage, where you can just break an opponent before the games gets close to 15, like you just kick them in the gut so hard, like that it just rocks them.
Usually they tap out before that.
Yeah. So finding ways to do that. Yeah, so awesome. Hey, Pierre, I appreciate your time, man. You've been super kind. And tell your French people to back the fuck up until Stalik, and then we can talk again, all right?
Okay.
All right. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you for all your support. Guys, like, subscribe. Come see me on Friendly Open Series, all that. Have a good rest of your day, and talk to you soon. Bye.
Mark of Winterfell, even though our words.
Winter's coming.
And in the winter, we must protect ourselves. Look after one another.
This one's for the lonely, the ones that seek and find.
Stupid little